Hello folks, this is Wayward Echo. Welcome to 13-Minute Horde Base. In this series, I take you through a quick overview of a base, then show you how to build it, throw a horde at it, and then I judge it to determine whether it is worthy or wanton. Lastly, I end up with a wrap-up showing you how to upgrade it past the 7-day horde. The Winding Stair leverages staggered blocks in a twisting pattern to slow zombies down before they get to you. As they meander through 3 rows of speed bumps, falling off and running into each other, you'll have ample time to shoot them and wear them down before they finally get to the end door. Lastly, you'll have a door with some fallback points there to be able to beat them to a bloody pulp if they do make it that far. With light to medium resource investment, this can easily take you through several Horde Nights. To get started with the build, you're going to need a space that is 23 by 13. Next, you'll need to gather some materials. For this build, you're going to need 500 flagstone, 25 bars, a hatch, and a door. To simplify this down to base materials, you'll need 2,000 clay, 2,000 small stone, which you'll use to build 2,000 cobblestone, which you will then use to build 500 flagstone. Next, you just need 200 wood, thereabouts, to build the other components. I've color-coded this so that the orange markings down there represent where a square block will hit the ground. Otherwise, the blue markings indicate where you're going to have a unique style block, which you'll see as I go through the build. We'll start in the bottom left by creating a stairway up for our zombie friends. This is a simple 1 block, then 2 block, then 3 block, then 4 block high structure. Next, we're going to go around to all the orange areas here in the winding section. Make those 4 high. 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. So once we've set up these pillars, we'll go back to the initial stairway, and then we'll start connecting them to make an S pattern. This will set up the basic pathing for the zombies for the Horde Night. And here's a quick aerial view to give you an idea of how it should look. Next, we'll start working on the defensive/living quarters. We're going to do the same thing that we did before, in that we're going to go 4 blocks high on each of these orange squares. Next, we'll finish off the bridge coming across from the S into the base. And then we're going to go around the corners and just link all of these up. Once we have these sides all linked up, then we're just going to fill in the bottom of the base here. With this done, we're going to move on to dealing with some of those blue squared areas that we talked about before. Some of this is more aesthetic, and you can play around with this as you want. There's a few examples that I'll note that are done for a reason. So we're going for kind of an arch aesthetic, so we're going to use these half-block flagstones, and we're going to go 2 high all around. We're going to use advanced rotation, and then place it right up against the edge, and that will allow us to put a wedge above it to give a really nice look. It's also going to provide a little bit of extra support all around the base. So we're just going to go around to each of these in this orientation, and it's easiest to do this so that you're not constantly rotating the block to find what's next. So we're going to just speed this up so that we get all these 2 blocks high, and you'll be able to look at the end to see a good idea of what this looks like. Okay, so once we have all these half blocks filled in, we're just going to switch the shape over to the wedge, and we'll orient it so that it matches up with the top of that half block and then fits into the ceiling to give us a nice arc. And we're going to run around to each of the spots here that we previously put in those half blocks and fill them in. So the purpose of the half blocks along the key structural points is twofold. One is just to provide some additional structural oomph to make sure the bridge and the overall base doesn't fall. The other is to make not a full block so that there's more space for zombies to pass through so they don't get bored and decide to just start beating on your pillars. Now that we have these in place, we'll take a quick spin around the base so that you can kind of see anything that you may have missed as I was going through this speedily. So there's the general look and feel. We'll do a quick overhead shot if you want to pause it and take a look and see if you've missed anything. The last thing to do before filling in the top of the base is to take care of some of these blue squares we have at the bottom. We're just going to come in and fill these. We're going to use stairs on advanced rotation. And then we're going to go underneath the 4 pillars of the base and add these into the corners to provide a little extra support and just some visual interest. So we'll go ahead and do the other 3 sides real quick. And then we're going to go to the outside 4 corners and we're going to use the same method. We're going to go 4 up to meet the base level, and then we're going to go an additional 4 up. And this will help frame the top of the base. And again, we'll repeat this on the other 3 sides. So once we have these 4 pillars in place, we're going to switch away from stairs and bring the block back up. We'll start at the entry from the bridge coming across and make just a doorway entrance. We'll have 2 entrances in, one for the Zeds and one for us to get in and out. All right, once we got that, we're just going to speed this up and go through and fill everything in. We'll stop briefly here and slow down and create that doorway. That's how we'll get in and out of the base. I'm going to fill in a line all the way across the bottom and then 2 across the top, leaving us 1 block wide. And then all we have left from here is to fill in the roof. Now we'll add in our door here on the side, and then we'll go through and put in wooden bars all the way around. All right, once we've got all these bars in place, we're gonna head on outside. I'm gonna add some speed bumps out here to slow the zombies down, force them to jump around like crazy monkeys. You can do this in whatever arbitrary fashion you want. The main idea is just to break up their movement and slow them down and give you more time to have them spread out and potentially fall off as they're jumping over each other to get into the base. And then the last thing we're going to do, we're going to come here to the doorway. We are going to switch our flagstone over to poles. So we're going to use the flagstone pole. If you've seen any of my other bases or any bases out there, we're going to use these rotated to create essentially 4 blocks in one space. So rotate it so that was the bottom outside. Here's the top outside. This will be the bottom inside. And there's the top inside. All right, folks, let's toss a horde at this sucker and see how it does. We're going to go ahead and set difficulty to warrior with 32 zombies. We're going to set game stage to right around 32 with level 20 XP. We're going to equip ourselves with items that are appropriate for those skills if I had to make everything by myself, and we're going to go at it and see how we do. I see we have a crowd gathering at the front stairs. Some puppers and otherwise. It's like watching the beginning of Zombie Warrior Ninja, the newest show from the Fun Pimps. Look at these guys and gals go, trying at it. There you go, sir. Just watch them line up and watch them fall. Get a little repairs in. Nice thing about this is you can turn and kind of pop shots over the left if you need to. See, those speed bumps give plenty of time to be able to repair, do anything you need in between runs, and then making it to the actual doorway. Now, if you were in here with a teammate, your teammate could easily be hanging out on the other side, just popping shots while you guard that door. Oh, right in the face! Ooh, some loot, thank you. Goodbye, head. Level 6 blunderbuss, yeah. And a spear, we'll have some fun with that. And they just keep on coming. Watching the dogs try to climb the stairs is absolutely hilarious. Oh, spear in the chest. Thank you, can I have that back? Man, that guy had a rough day. Come on, doggies. Alright, so let's talk ranking on this base. On survivability, we're going to give this a 9 out of 10. The only time I took damage was when I went AFK to get different camera angles, otherwise completely untouched. Next, we're going to talk expandability. We're going to give this a 5 out of 10. I think that for early game, maybe up through the first 3-4 hordes, you're pretty good here. But I think end game, you'd struggle a bit here. You'd have to really reinforce things a lot. And I don't know how it would hold up once you're talking about demolishers and things. From a fun perspective, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I like the fact that you can bounce around. You can do a little bit of melee action. You can also do long range. So yeah, it was kind of fun. Then maintenance, we're going to go 7 out of 10 on this one. Just walking around the base here, I'm not really seeing a lot of significant damage. You know, we'll have to repair some of the second tier places where the zombies were beaten on the pillars, but otherwise good. Last ranking for multiplayer support, we're going to give an 8 out of 10. This one could easily support 3 or 4 people. You could have 1 at the door and 3 shooting critters as they come across without a problem. So if I was going to progress this past the 7-day horde, the first thing that I would do would go around the base and hit all the second tier levels and upgrade these. Next, if you look at the areas in pink, I'm going to put in some additional defenses that I've added. When I was initially building this, my big thought was if I could have electric fences crisscrossing across the top of this, that would really slow the zombies down, do a little bit more damage, and give me time to pop off shots with whatever long range weapon I am using. So I put 2 across there. I've added a sledge turret on the side here to knock them off, forcing them back towards the entrance, the initial stairs where they come up. Next, I've got this wedge tip, which I've added here. And this is just to force the zombies off so that they can't stack up. I've added spotlights across the top here, and that allows me to not have to worry about having torches. And lastly, on the top, I've added 2 SMG turrets to deal with any vulture issues. So that was the Winding Stair. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, consider dropping a like and a subscribe. And if you have ideas on how I can make this base better, if you saw things that I missed or whatnot, please engage down in the comments and let me know. I'm really excited about communicating back and forth and seeing what you saw that I missed. In addition, if you haven't checked out the Broken Shard series, please go take a look at that. It's amazing. It's been so much fun. I'm playing multiple characters. It's augmenting reality and 7 Days to Die and mixing them together for a crazy story arc that is completely new and original, that I hope you guys will come along for that adventure with me. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Echo out.